Kevin Franklin.
I'm Brent Steele.
And this is Maverick Dodd.
And welcome back. Welcome back, fellas.
It's been a long time. What?
September, right?
September of 2020.
That is July the 13th is the last interview that was recorded.
I think the name of the episode was Big Old Ball of Feet or something like that. Because we were talking about football. It was early in the football season.
It was early.
And boy, what a wild ride was the football season.
It's been so long. Like,
I feel like
First
a lot
off-
of things have happened since
they
then.
have, first off, I want to just note that I have realized that the voices that we're using are super smooth and clear. They're very nice.
Yeah.
You know what they remind me of?
What?
You remember that skit from SNL, Sweaty Balls?
Sweaty balls.
Do you remember that?
Sweaty.
Sweaty
Yeah,
Balls.
Alec Baldwin.
It was just
one of
like,
the
it was like,
greatest comedic
so
moments
you-
of all time.
you can order these balls.
Yeah.
They got like ball in them.
Yeah. Everybody loves my sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls in your mouth.
Yeah.
Kevin Frank.
They're delicious.
Or
You know,
nice ball. Didn't he like beat up his daughter?
No, he cussed her out.
Oh,
He was verbally abusive because he was drunk.
my dad's cussed me out today.
So anyways, what's on the agenda there, Brent?
To be honest with you, I totally forgot.
Fair enough, we haven't done this in a while.
We haven't done it in a while.
Typically, we're not very structured.
We are not very
And
structured, but we're
we're
gonna try to
We're
change
gonna bring
that.
a little bit of structure and
Yeah.
talk about things other than just sports. Those sports are gonna be pretty heavy. focus.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the sports. We'll talk about the Hawks for sure because they're the best of all time.
Actually, they're not.
They're not. They hurt my feelings twice. But anyway, so we're gonna start.
They're not the worst though, that was
That's-
Sacramento. They were,
Yes.
that was the longest time since a team has gotten an NBA Finals appearance.
Yeah.
It's Sacramento.
Well,
Last
we-
time the Hawks did it, they were the St. Louis Hawks though, so Atlanta.
Yeah,
It was the deepest playoff run they've ever had.
yeah, for sure.
It was.
2 games away.
Well,
The Trey doesn't get hurt, but
2015.
the Trey doesn't get hurt, Brand.
They made a deep run in 2015.
They didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals though.
Yeah, they did. They got to the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference Finals and got swept by LeBron.
Yeah, since they've been in Atlanta, they've only been
Oh, I
in
thought
the
it
Eastern
was in
Conference
the-
Finals twice.
I
and
thought
it
that was the one beforehand.
2015.
Because yeah, they definitely got blown out by the Cavs.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
And then this time. Anyway,
Who's everybody rooting for though? I'm rooting for the Bucks.
or no, I'm going for the Suns for sure.
I'm rooting for the Bucks.
I like CP3.
I like Chris Paul. I
Yeah.
like Devin Booker. These guys are pretty good.
I would really like to see.
Wisconsin team. So.
I'd like to see CP3.
Hey, you know what? So I went to Game 6, and guess there was a Bucks fan with a cheese head on,
Oh, that's cool. I like that because Aaron Rodgers is a minority owner of the Bucks.
and he won't be a Buck. I mean,
So is every season ticket holder.
Packer.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
really. Hey, does he change that? Have he changed teams?
No, man. Like it's a money machine. So like, why wouldn't you be a minority stakeholder?
That's true. Starting now with the average pros, we're going to start this new segment called the catch up. Basically, what this is, Kevin and Matt, is basically going to take the top 5 trending or current events or newsworthy things, and we're going to talk about them.
These are very, very current.
They're super current, but because we're going to try to go week to week, we're going to go over the stuff
All right,
last
yeah,
week. You know what I mean?
I like that.
And if we may not agree with everything we each other say, but guess what? That's kind of what we are all about,
Yes, we are.
right?
100%.
Let's get going.
Let's do it. Number 1. Starting July 1st, Kevin, what happened?
The athletes can get paid.
NCAA lets the kids make some money.
Yeah, it's.
What
very-
is your thoughts on that?
And we talked about this. We were like blazing edge on this when the original thing came down, and then we were hoping that something like this would happen. But I mean, I sent you this video the other day of Dave Portnoy talking about it. It's like, hey, I don't know what's happening, but this girl, this freaking volleyball player from Jacksonville State, sent me a tweet wanting to be a Barstool athlete. Well, shit, anybody who blinks at me who's a
The party
college
was free.
athlete.
We'll give you pizza.
You're a Barstool athlete, so I love it. I love it that he's sponsoring and like he's probably not throwing a lot of money at it, but he might eventually.
At some point, he may.
He
You know what I
probably
mean?
will though
Like,
because it's Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, he's. I
He'll
mean,
probably
they're
be
bringing
obscene.
awareness to his brand,
Yeah.
getting in the media.
Yeah.
Like if he's a trailblazer in that,
but you think about it, if you're an athlete and you go there, of course you're automatically gonna get all these fans of just you. You're gonna get. I feel like the whole time they should have been paying these kids.
yeah, they really should have.
There's a lot of good arguments for the scholarship aspect and all of the things that they're given throughout their careers because they're athletes. But I still think if it's going to come down to like things like jersey sales, video games, there should be some portion that is given to the athletes because there's still some athletes who, even though all this stuff is paid for them, they have all this food and lodging and clothes and whatnot, their families still need help.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think there's a,
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing, and I think it's I'm kind of
I think if they can,
indifferent on the other part of it, but I think it's good.
And
I think if they can just keep it to where, if you keep the schools out of it, if you can keep just the kid making money on themselves.
Yeah, the schools make their money their own way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we keep
yeah.
the
And they're
school,
making billions and billions.
keep the schools out of it. But
See, and this is what makes me think of stuff like that too, though, because like, who buys the long snapper's jersey?
Sure.
His family, his friends, people that know the guy, maybe.
So that's why you keep
Maybe
the
not.
school out of it and you just let this guy go out there.
Well, that's what the whole thing was for
to make
for
it
them
even.
to get paid on their likeness. So
Yeah.
it has to be something specifically due to them in the college athlete world.
But
But you also got to be big enough to know and say, like, I'm a long snapper. I'm not going to make as
Yeah,
much as
but-
JT Daniels.
But
for sure.
in the case of the long snapper though, the EA Sports NCAA 2022 or whatever game that comes out, in order to be the best, most accurate college football game or basketball game or whatever it happens to be, you have to include
Yep.
the friggin' long snapper.
Absolutely.
And you have to pay
It's everybody that hits
the
the
long
field.
snapper.
Yeah.
Now, the long snapper may only get paid whatever, like a small amount of money, but
Yeah.
it's still something.
Yeah.
And on the, to Maverick's point, he gets his scholarship, he gets his room and board and all that good stuff, and maybe he makes it to the majors, maybe he doesn't. But in the case of, like, what about the injured guy? The guy
Yeah.
that gets totally mangled and
Yeah.
never makes it big, never
Right.
gets paid
What
$1.
was that cat's name from Alabama? That was an amazing wide receiver. Talon Prothro or something like that. He was like
Prothros or Poitras?
something like that, but he was like amazing, and he broke his leg like a game. Never the same, you know what I mean? It was crazy.
Yeah, that happens a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I
so
think-
those guys, I mean, like, I feel for them, so like, if they're able to make it, like,
Yeah.
make some money while they're in college,
Mhm.
more power to them, I love it.
Yeah, because you also it's their job. If you're a D1 athlete, you have no.
They're called student athletes.
I
I
get
mean,
it, but like you don't have a chance
some
to
of the
work at
students
McDonald's, right? Like
Do
you
like
can't pick up a
good
shift.
student stuff too, I mean, like,
Yeah.
They try to go pick up a shift somewhere if you
like the Shermanator is like a physicist or something.
Yeah, yeah.
He went to Stanford.
Yeah.
So I think I think it makes the game better.
I think it does too.
I think the kids are going to want to play harder to get their likeness out there.
Well, yeah, you're going to be you want to win your position.
Yeah.
You're going to fight a little bit harder to be a little bit
You're
better.
going to if someone's making more money on a jersey, you want to knock them out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I think it's good.
Performance
vote.
phase, I love it. Hey, on that,
Yeah.
what about all the athletes and schools that got disqualified for pay play?
Ooh, do you go? So
See, I don't think they can- I don't think they
reinstate
can do-
USC's title?
I
Do
don't think you
you,
can
you
do
give
the
Bush
retro
back
thing.
his Heisman?
do you give Bush back his Heisman? Yeah, I mean, like, why not?
It was illegal then, though. It's not illegal now.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court,
No, I understand.
yeah, it's precedent. I mean, it was against the guidelines and or whatever the NCAA rules were at the time. But the Supreme Court has said that there's no law that should be that student athletes can't get paid. So I'm all for reinstating it. Kind of like I'm all for like letting people out of prison after like weed laws change in states and stuff. Like why are
Oh,
they
yeah.
still in prison?
Yeah.
As long as we're nonviolent.
Well, see, that's going to go
I
back a
think any
long way. Like
nonviolent
all that SMU stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to go back a long time.
That'd
There's
be-
a lot of
I
people that
think,
got paid back
you,
then.
you need to take all the asterisks away.
I get it.
If there wasn't any real cheat beat on.
I've always said that you should let these guys in baseball be in the Hall of Fame. Like Barry Bonds, you should be in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, here's the thing too. With stuff like that, he still had to hit the frickin' baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
accuracy.
It's not like he
There's-
juiced
He
up
stole.
and just.
He was
missed.
an MVP before steroids.
Yeah.
He stole. He led the league in stolen bases.
That's because he was 75 pounds lighter.
That's true. He didn't steal a lot of bases. He got a lot of walks. Second thing, speaking of the Supreme Court there,
Oh,
Kevin.
gosh.
Second topic we're going to talk about: Bill effing Cosby.
Man, fuck that guy.
How did he get out of prison?
Okay, so I know the legal aspect of it. This is not me, I agree with that. I'm just explaining it for the listeners who don't understand it. So, old prosecutor back in the day on a civil suit tells Bill Cosby, hey, you know what? You should testify. You should do some testimony. Don't worry, it won't get used against you in a criminal trial. I promise.
I made it a binding agreement.
It can't be used against you in a criminal trial for jail time or whatever. Just settle out. Settle this civil suit for money and
He pays this
make
chick like
testimony.
$3 million. Right?
Yeah, he pays her off, and then he, tells the truth. He's like, yeah, I give women drugs and try to sleep with them or sleep with them or whatever.
And he tells the
admitted-
truth about what he did.
Yeah, he admits to all this stuff, and then later on, a lot of other women come into the woodwork. There's a Me Too movement, and
A lot of other
a
women.
lot of women, and he had already testified the truthfulness of it. All these other women may or may not have known about the testimony, but the new prosecutor, like the old prosecutor didn't have his job there anymore. New prosecutor decides to use it, and he's convicted and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. Served 2 of them, and then I guess through the appeals process, you know, that got brought up, and they're like, hey, there was a pinky promise or whatever.
Right.
And he's out of prison.
The judges.
Scout
doing-
Saunders said that you weren't gonna use this
You
stuff.
know, I feel bad for the judges too, because they're probably getting lambasted and everything, but they're doing what they legally have to do.
The
Right.
Supreme Court, you
Yeah.
bind,
And I hate it because like the guy's a monster.
it's
Like,
terrible.
I
And
looked
he
up to
even
him
admits
too.
it, that's the problem, but they used it inappropriately.
I don't understand.
He admits to
people
the fact that he's
defending him.
disgusting.
I don't understand like famous people coming out and defending him, like, yeah, he's finally free.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but he admitted to doing it.
But
too.
here's,
Right.
but here's my thing though, like,
Don't come out and defend him.
like also, you gotta use a little common sense in the Supreme Court. They're
No,
like,
no, no, no.
I get it.
That doesn't happen.
Well, that was the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. It wasn't actually like
No,
the U.S.
I know, but but you're like, hey, I get that when he told him he wasn't gonna press charges, but after hearing everybody,
After he
after
said
hearing
how
him
many
say
drugs
this,
he
this,
gave
this,
all these women
you know,
intentionally
kinda
to
be
have
like,
sex with them.
yeah, he should go to prison.
Yeah, it's messed up. Like I mean, he's probably not a threat to women at the moment because he's like 88.
Yeah, he's up
But
there.
then you give people 99 years for just having kitty porn, and but this guy admits to.
Well, you know, some
Like,
sentences
you know what
because
I mean? Like it's crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
at what point do you start using the justification?
when you have multiple sentences, like multiple convictions,
Multiple
and stuff,
offenses, yeah.
they're all the time served concurrently, not consecutively. So like,
Yeah.
you got 1,000 years for whatever, but 20 years times 500, you know, stacked 500 sentences are being served out simultaneously for 20 years. I mean,
Yep.
like, that's how people get out.
Yeah, they don't run end on end.
Yeah.
No, which I get that too, but it's hard to justify getting that guy in prison for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when you push
It,
it.
but it does
Legally,
hurt.
legally,
It does hurt the Me
legally.
Too movement because, like, Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
like, he didn't even admit it. Like, you know,
Mhm.
he said, I didn't do any of this, but everybody in Hollywood around was like, yeah.
Everybody else said he did.
But here's the point though, part of the Me Too movement, at what justice have they got? They haven't got Bill Cosby, he's let go now. You have
You
Jeffrey
never had
Epstein,
Michael. You never
quote,
had
unquote, killed
Michael
himself.
Jackson.
You never had
Jeffrey
Michael
Epstein didn't get his day in court.
Yeah.
what about Harvey Weinstein?
He got suicided.
No. Harvey Weinstein's in
Oh, so
prison.
Epstein,
Yeah,
sorry.
but like that's it. Like
But
What do you
like,
want him to do?
You know, he's in prison.
Dude, the average time of death row is like 8 years.
no, I'm just
He's
saying
not-
like
Yeah, nobody gets death row usually
it's
for
a big movement
sexual
for
assault.
one person. Get more people.
Yeah.
Maybe when Ghislaine gets her day in court and we get all that evidence.
I'm really interested to see how that goes.
I'm so glad she has
She'll
one.
make it court.
Yeah.
She'll make a call.
Oh, dude, they've moved her like 6 times.
Oh, what about
All right, so
she was
third thing.
suicided? Freaking John McAfee.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was definitely suicided. He said for years he's like, I'm going to be suicidal.
Literally the week after he says where his box is, a random building collapse.
Yeah, so that was
That's
actually
his condo building.
it actually wasn't. Somebody he's related to has a spot on there. That was a fake tweet that was going around that everybody believed. But
Was it hashtag fake news?
he does have a countdown on his website for like whatever his team or something's launched. I don't know. Is he suicided? Like, did he actually die, or is this like a
Spoof kind of deal?
He paid off the Spanish government that was about to extradite him to the USA to
Oh,
fake
for
his
sure.
death and
100%.
go out on the lam.
That's pretty funny.
Anyways,
All right, third topic here, Rachel Nichols. All right, so I'm gonna read her comments. I don't know if you've heard this, if you're listening to us, I don't know if you've heard what's going on, but you probably have. Matt, you know what's going on?
I have no clue.
All right, so Rachel Nichols is a female reporter for ESPN, right?
Mhm.
She does basketball. She normally does the NBA finals. That's what her job is. This year, they wanted to move her out of her position and put her down the sideline doing Doris Burke's job. And they wanted to move an African American into her position, basically. Right? So this is her being recorded. The other lady is Maria Taylor. You know Maria Taylor, she's from
Mhm.
Georgia, she's great, she's amazing. I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. She even goes on to say, if you have to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long-term record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it elsewhere. You're not going to find it from me or taking my thing away. I just want them to go somewhere else. It's in my contract, by the way. It's my job and my contract writing.
Yeah, I mean,
Terrible. It's terrible to hear.
the fact that she was pressed to get to the point where she had to say something like that.
Yeah.
You know, her contract is being broken by the contract maker, and she's trying to, you know, have her say about it. And I don't think it was racially motivated, her saying that, because all she's doing is she's pointing out that they've got a bad track record on equal opportunity in the workplace. And she's like, hey, look, I know you guys have a really crappy track record, and it sucks that in order to, you know, promote a person of color, that you have to come after a woman to
Yeah.
do it.
That, because, you know, on the surface, hearing it, it sucks to hear, but also it's the truth. Like, you shouldn't have to have that conversation. You shouldn't have to be that blatant. You shouldn't have that type of a company where it's known that you don't treat
Yeah,
people
and
the right way.
If the company wants to put a woman of color in that position, wait till the contract to the person that's doing it currently
Yeah, at
runs
least.
out,
Wait till it expires.
or is ready for a renewal, and change it. It's like, hey, look, we're not gonna renew your contract.
We're gonna go a different direction.
That's it. You're not having to break a contract, you're not having to get somebody all mad, you know.
But it's also kind of, if you think about it, like if Rachel's not doing anything wrong and she does a great job, they also slap in the face of Maria, like, hey, we're only
yeah, that's-
promoting you because of this.
Yeah, it's like put the shoe on the other foot. If she
Yes.
was in that situation and they're saying, hey, we're gonna bring Rachel in all of a sudden because of this diversity issue,
Yeah, 100%.
it's another uproar.
I agree.
It's ridiculous.
So,
It's a bummer for Rick. I mean, yeah, it's a bummer for both women.
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks.
It doesn't look good for either one of them.
And it really doesn't look good for ESPN/Disney, because Disney owns it.
Yeah.
Owns that back.
Disney, when
Or
are they
Hulu.
gonna shut them down for
Well, Disney
monopoly?
owns Hulu. So Disney
You
owns
get the
it.
combo. Have you been? You got the combo, right?
Yeah, Hulu owns it.
You got the combo?
Oh, yeah.
I
When are
wonder
they
if
gonna
it's-
shut Disney down for fucking monopoly?
I don't know. I mean, why
They
should
fucking
there's
own
other
everything.
giant media conglomerates like Viacom and Universal,
They diversify.
Warner, like AT&T.
Disney just has all the fucking streaming platforms.
I mean, they got some of them, but not all.
I think it's crazy that all of these different streaming platforms are now like Paramount, Peacock TV,
It's great.
like every channel that you
Like,
used
I
to
never
watch.
have to
Well,
leave
Texas,
my
like,
house.
remember like some people used to have like $150 cable bills, and
Yeah.
now they have like
$150
$0
in
cable
subscription.
bills, but they have all these subscriptions.
It's ruined my kids for sure.
Yeah.
They don't know what a TV guide is. They don't know what any
It's
of that stuff
terrible. It's
is.
like when you're looking for something, like a specific movie, and you're like, oh gosh, which streaming
Which
service
one
is
can I get it on? Yeah.
Like, instead of like paying to rent
Saw a remedy for that the other day. I can't think of the name of it now. It's one app and it's streamed. You can put like 7 different things on it. Type in the name of the movie, it shows you where it goes.
I just Google it now. Like, I won't
Yeah.
even like open an app.
I wish I could think of the name of
It's just
what
like,
it
yeah,
is.
I'm done.
Because it's literally like you could put Hulu, ESPN, Disney, Netflix, and something else on there. And literally just search for what you were gonna search for anyway, and it shows you what it's playing on.
And like, I'll pay to rent something if I have to pay, but like, if it's available for free on one
Yeah.
I already pay a monthly subscription for,
Yeah.
Why not watch it? Like, especially HBO Max. Because they always release their stuff like straight
I
to.
love HBO. That's actually my most utilized streaming service
Mine
is HBO Max,
I do too.
because there's such a
I've been watching a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air here lately.
lot of DC Comics stuff on there too, which is great.
Did you watch the Justice League?
Oh yeah, the 4 hour long Justice League was amazing.
Did
I
you watch
watched
it? Did
I
you watch
watched
that?
it.
Did you say 4 hours?
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. So Joss Whedon like
Never heard of her.
effed it up. Anyways, he did the 2 hour version that came out in 2017. It was
The one that everybody saw.
yeah, but it was garbage.
It was terrible.
Everybody thought it was garbage. The 4 hour version, they like
It's great.
shot some scenes. They cut out a bunch of Joss Whedon's bull crap, and then they added a crap load of
I
stuff.
had a lot of
I'll have to
backstory,
check that
which
one
was
out.
really nice.
Because Zack Snyder's daughter
When I
committed
drink a Red Bull or
suicide
something.
during the filming, and so Zack Snyder jumped off the project because he had a family crisis, and so that's why Joss went there. And Joss Whedon, he did like Avengers,
Yeah.
Age of Ultron, and I think one of the stars.
Did you see all the new Marvel movies coming out?
Oh, Joss Whedon also wrote Toy Story 1.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, Black Widow's coming out, right?
Mhm.
A bunch.
Those-
Like She-Hulk,
that Asian samurai guy. I can't remember. his
Yeah,
name.
Blade's coming too.
Oh, they were doing a play. What are
Well, you used Wesley Snipes. Was he still in prison for tax?
No, no.
Is that a different guy?
No,
No,
that's
that's
okay.
Wesley Snipes.
He never got imprisoned. He just fled the country.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
just
still
dipped
home
out.
now?
Several years. No, he paid his taxes.
He's back now?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Taxation stuff. I don't know what he's saying.
I hate to interrupt. Whose food in there? That's like I got half eaten.
You can throw it away.
You can throw it away, bud.
Alright, then after that, I'm gone.
Cool.
Never heard of that cat. Who's that guy?
I've never
the
had.
guy clearly just like totally interrupted our.
No, that's cool. Like,
I've
I know
never
you
had a
can't-
cleaning person
Ever.
not throw shit away.
I've never seen a
It's like
clean
asking
person with
if
that nice
half
of a
the food
necklace.
needs to be thrown away in the
Yeah.
break room at 8 o'clock at night.
I'm pretty sure he's undercover boss. You see his necklace?
Whatever. Anyways,
You should see it. Man. The last two things we want to talk about are basically the Atlanta Hawks and the NBA Finals.
I will tell you, like I was always into basketball during the playoffs and finals, kind of.
It's the only time I'm into basketball.
But going to that
That's-
playoff game the other night,
What
we
an
all-
incredible.
we were all able to go to the.
It made me fall in love to the
Thanks
city.
to Michael.
Thanks to Michael Stogner.
Thank you,
It was
Stock Daddy.
the best sporting event I've ever attended in my life.
Hashtag Stockmeister.
And like Big Boy just performing during a timeout.
But it was a TV timeout. They threw a big boy out there with
Yeah.
a freaking. How
Mm.
nuts was that?
Hold on. That's it.
That's not.
That was
I know, but I was just.
right. But I get it. And who's there? The other
Yeah, Young Ja.
Young Jock the other
Yeah,
night.
2 Chainz,
Yeah.
Jeezy,
Oh my gosh.
Usher, Lil Jon. I didn't see these up, boy.
Yeah.
think they
And
broke up
Shaq
on
was there
something.
when you went on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Game
My
six.
my buddy does the TV and mic work
play good, Ernie.
for all of TNT. Joe Herman, he's the man. He lines up he does all of this stuff for every Hawks game
It was so
and
exciting.
Falcons.
I definitely want to go to regular season games. At least
Yeah.
a couple of them next year.
Yeah,
'cause
that was pretty
So
awesome.
it was fun.
It was a great.
The Hawks are good. They're young. We lost because Trey got hurt.
We literally lost our voices by halftime.
Yeah, and we for like 3 days after.
Yeah,
The Hawks will lose John Collins. He's a free agent.
it's probably not bad.
Yeah. Cam Reddish is probably our best player.
100%.
He should be a starter.
He's definitely the next guy on the list. Well, he came back from injury,
Yeah, he did.
coming
He was
into the
there.
playoffs. So he
That's
didn't
right.
have the game we went to. Matter of fact, was like his second game back, and he couldn't hang
Well, since
with
every
his
other
minutes.
Atlanta team is like really sucking these days. Like Atlanta United is kind of sucking lately. The Braves have been sucking this season, kind
They're
of.
3 games out. They're winning right now.
Yeah, I mean,
1-0. Thanks to Freddie Freeman.
they're not having a season like last season.
No,
No,
true.
no.
That's because like.
Well, we
our
got
outfielder
to get to the
beat us.
we got to get up to
Yeah.
the All-Star break too.
He was
choked
batting.
around.
He was batting 1,000 at home.
Battery.
You know, he called the cops on her for beating him up
Before.
and so.
I feel like they should just water the bridge.
Just
No,
let it go.
I'm not excusing his beating his wife. But
No,
it's
I
like,
don't-
it was a
I don't
known
condone
problem.
that.
It was a known problem, and like maybe the team should have done something about that.
Are they divorced?
They should have dug a little deeper into that.
Well, no, they should have been like, hey guys, let's, you're really important to the team. Your family is.
We're talking about
important to us.
Marcelo Zuna.
Maybe we should work on y'all's marriage a little bit. Marriage
Can we
counseling or
send you to
something.
counseling?
No, I
Send
mean,
you to marriage counseling, please.
you know,
We need you to bat 300.
the
That'd
NFL got
kill
in
your
such
wife.
hot water whenever what's his face?
Ray?
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, you said
Uh,
NBA. No, yeah.
Yeah,
that girl
Kareem
and-
Hunt.
Yeah, anytime.
What was the guy, the running back for Baltimore?
Ray Rice?
Ray Rice.
Yeah,
Rice,
anytime. Ben Roethlisberger, like they got a lot of flack
Yeah.
for not being involved in the domestic side of their teams and stuff, and so, maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
Well, I mean, after this, you kind of have to. You got to think about it anyway, because I mean, you can't just start of the season have your dude just.
Condition of employment or something.
Cut off.
This is still recording.
Well, that is, but you can't hear us.
Does that take batteries?
But supposed to stay on with that.
Well, it's
We're
all
back.
We're back, that's weird, okay.
Temporary
Might have to wrap
intermittent.
it up kinda soon now.
No, for real though. Last thing we're gonna talk about is the NBA Finals. Kevin, who you got and how many games?
I got Bucks in 6.
Mad Dog.
I'm saying Suns in 7.
I'm going Suns in 4.
Good God.
Wow.
And I'm gonna buy a shirt from
They-
Barstool.
round one they did in 4, right?
They did.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was 6 games with the Clippers, 5 games with the Clippers, right?
Yeah.
And you remember,
Oh, 6
remember that guy
games.
supposed to beat up that dude?
Yeah,
in
'cause the
in
Clippers
the-
got 2.
Remember the guy beat up that dude in the stadium, and then said Suns in 4. Remember that? Barstool made the shirts. It's amazing.
I must have
I don't know, you watched the Bucks play twice.
live.
They're not good.
In person.
They don't have Giannis. They don't have a healthy Giannis. They're done.
Well, they didn't
Devin
need
Booker's
him.
too fat.
They didn't need him, obviously.
If the Hawks would have won, the
Yeah,
Suns
they
would have slow bus.
knocked the Hawks down like by 30 points.
The Suns are
So-
the Suns are really good. They have DeAndre Ayton, probably the best center in the league. They got Devin Booker, who is nasty. They have Chris Paul, who's nasty.
I really wanna see Chris Paul get a championship.
And
The
that coach
dude's
is
been
really
in
good.
so many places.
So I think I think they're gonna win.
I'm choosing Bucks because
When was the last time Phoenix?
I like the city of Milwaukee. I've never been to Phoenix before.
Never heard of her either.
I've never been a fan.
The Harley Davidson headquarters is in Milwaukee,
I have a t-shirt, my
That's
dad
really cool.
wrote his Harley to it.
and I got really inebriated on adult beverages after a
Camping?
comedy show in Milwaukee, and surprised I didn't get arrested.
That's pretty
That's a
good.
good thing that you didn't.
That was awesome. I was gonna say something funny, but I lost my train of thought. Cause you're Milwaukee. I hope you get arrested again, Kevin, in Milwaukee.
Never been arrested.
Okay.
Don't
Fair
start
enough.
now.
Fair enough.
Don't start now.
We're gonna try to do this a little bit more often and try to keep it a little bit more brief and talk about more than sports for the most part.
Yeah, just talk about everything. Catch up. That's what we're called.
Catch up.
Catch up, bro.
It was great.
I do love
Finally
ketchup
getting
on
something
my
after
sandwich.
almost a year of absence.
Pretty freaking close.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
And with that.
We're out.
Peace.